It's another Crazy Geek Crafter, and today, 27, is a cake. And it looks familiar, but I was unsure what kind of cake this was. So I watched Gummiapan's own reveal of this, and they just said a cake. So I took a picture of the die, and Google picture search came up with a few examples where that might be it. It did recognize, the AI wrote to me that it was a die for cutting paper, but I was more interested in what it was going to be. So it can be some kind of flan dessert, or something called cannelis, some French cake. Here it's a tiramisu. I think I could get it to look like that. Here it's both in browns and in pinks. And this one, I think, looks a lot like this one, actually. And it's again something French. So, I think I'll go with some kind of caramel cake. I did look closer at the... just going to catch up with myself here. Okay. I did take a closer look, and I think maybe this thing is topped with strawberries, but I may be wrong. I'll try and cut it out a few times and see what happens. Sometimes it's easier when it's cut out. Let's start with the black at least. Let's see what I have. Scraps. Actually, I think that's enough. Don't need the bigger one. Let's turn it over, that might be helpful. Okay, and some tape. Alrighty. Okay. Glue this on here. This one out, and I have been spoiled quite a lot with this one, and I didn't mind today because I was so in doubt as to what this. For some reason, when I looked at it, I thought it was supposed to be pink, and I don't know why. I think maybe it has to do with a cartoon, but I can't remember. It's just the mental picture I get when I look at it. Ooh. Let's put this back together. See if it wants to work and not stab me. Right. I do sometimes feel like I have a bit of an advantage with these dies since the company is Swedish, and I do know some things about Swedish culture, partly because it's a neighboring country. When I was a kid, a lot of TV shows were shuffled back and forth between us and Sweden, especially we got Astrid Lindgren stories like Pippi Longstockings and things like that. So I know some of the Swedish classic things, and others I actually learned at IKEA while I worked there. Okay, that was the black one out of the way. Let's do a white one. So in that regard, I do have a bit of an advantage. But this one, I was kind of stumped. And I haven't watched any of the videos with the other people who do lives or videos with this calendar. I watched 2 British ladies and 1 American. I think that's it. And then, yeah, Kraft is done with her series this year, so she won't be doing anymore. She's American too. But it does help with some more references. I don't think I need to cut more of that, but I don't know if you can see it, but it's like this could be a strawberry, and this, and this, and this, and then all of this in the back here can be cut away because it might be the, what is it called? Whipped cream or frosting here. So that's what I think I'm gonna do. Maybe make this pink, white, and then white down here, and then white behind, and make these strawberries. So that would mean one layer for that, a layer for the strawberries, and the cake, and then 1, 2, 3 layers. 3 pieces of this should do. Let's see. Of course, the tape wanted to stay with the other piece. And like I said, the pictures were showing more caramels, but if that is supposed to be strawberries, and I think it is, kind of, then why not make the cake pink? There we go. It's so funny, Jana. You can probably hear her once in a while. She hardly said a sound the entire way there by train and home again. At the hotel she was quiet. It was only in the middle of the night if someone was yelling out in the hall or a train went by that was really loud, then she would make little noises. But now we're back home. She is yelling at every single sound. It's so weird like that. Alright, so one whole piece for the bottom. And then just move the dies out of the way. And then cut off. Question is, that is a strawberry too. I think I'm gonna treat it as if it's not. Okay. And I cut it first from one side. I'm trying to keep them round. Follow the lines and then flip it over because then I can get in from the other side. It's a bit harder though to see what I'm doing from this angle, but it's easier. Clean it up a bit. This is so tiny. And this piece over here. I'm just going to cut it from here, I think. I think I'm also gonna cut this one off, even though it does kind of look like the same. So, 4 strawberries in the middle of all the whipped cream. Then the next one is the front whipped cream. And cutting it off the cake. always admired people who could do this pretty piping. There was a show on TLC called Cake Boss, and he was not a very nice person all the time. The guy who runs this bakery, I don't think it exists anymore. I'm uncertain, but nevertheless, he was a magician with a piping bag. It was just unbelievable what he could do. It's really old school, and I have so much respect for it. So this pretty thing should be, let's just make it silver. Let's move this out the way. Let's just do it quickly in Quicksilver, because this will need to dry before I can touch it. Otherwise I leave fingerprints on it. And most of it won't even be seen, so. Yeah, that'll do. Let's just pick it up on this side where it's going to be hidden and leave it there to dry. So this we keep. Should put this back on. Alrighty. So whipped cream, that would be a warm gray, very light one. I think I won't go. I think I'll take half, and then the colorless blender to do the cream here. Let's see. Number one, then strawberries and cake. I'm gonna have to move this again. Let's put it over here so I can keep an eye on the comments if there are any. And the guide. How dark do we need the strawberries to be? I'm thinking 15 geranium and I think 13 maybe, which is scarlet. They're very tiny. I won't need more than 2 markers, I think. So let's first do 15 at the bottom. And it doesn't matter that I go over the lines down here because it will be covered up by the next layer. Just can't go all the way down here to the cake. Like that. And this one. Okay, red ones. And then the pink color. So it'd be kind of like if you put freeze-dried or fresh strawberries into the cream, or maybe not fresh, maybe pureed strawberries into cream. So it will be, let's do R8, sorry, rose pink, and a lighter one, RP1 free, that one free 8. Let's try these two. Right. So if it's darkest out here, and on the other side here. Oh, and this was the bottom one, so I need to color this part in. because otherwise it may be visible. If I get it just a tiny bit off, then you'll be able to see the white underneath. So that will cover that. So if I do a line here, one here, I may have to go in and do the lines again after I blended it. Because I don't think I have too much, can you call it space? Too much of a variation between these pinks. So I like to do circles when I blend. And again, I'm gonna put these on top of the white, so it's okay if I go a bit over. Just don't hit the fruit, and I can hit the very edge. That's an upside to cutting these apart. Even though it takes time, it just makes it easier to color. Let's see how this did. Yeah. I don't know if it blended the best. These look kind of yellowish. I'll let it dry and then we'll think about it. Back to the whipped creams. It's that way. I'm using 0. Let's see. This is the underside of the swirl. And then blending it out. This is fiddly. Okay. All right. I'm gonna need a block because this is curling a lot. I think I'm gonna stay with this pink, and then I can glue these on. The glue that I made disappear over here. No. Put it here first. So I can do this. Okay. This one. I have no clue what I'm gonna do for background here. I possibly could bring in the cover plates from yesterday that were birthday themed. That may be the answer. Because the pattern paper I have is not exactly the right color. Okay. Got it straight on there. Let's do it like that. And then the card. The card. Thinking. Well, start with the card base. That's always a good starting point. Just this. Okay. I'm gonna need a block because this is curling a lot. And then the card. And then the card. The card. The card. Thinking. Well, start with the card base. That's always a good starting point. Just this. Start with the card base. That's always a good starting point. it over here. Gives me more room. Let's have a look. This is where I keep all the things I've used and everything Gummiapan related. So, nah, I don't think so. Sentiment about cola, not really so useful. Leaves. This mug would make this cake very small. So no. And the strawberries would be out of proportion. We have some grasses, a present. Oh, it could be accompanied by a present. Let's see, Christmas trees, window, the backgrounds I've not used. I don't know. Put you over here. So if we do, it's going to be an old song by now, but I do like it when things have a theme. And all of these cards, when I look at them, I want to be able to see that I did them in the same period. So let's do Vellum circle. I think it was this one. Yep, it's this one. Right, and then a present and a cake on a plate. Yeah, that will be fine. I'll do that in Vellum. Maybe I cut off too much. Possibly. We'll find out. Worked. Barely, but it worked. Putting that back so it doesn't disappear. Need to cut one of these. I was thinking maybe there is one of these that is not too much Christmas. Some houndstooth, maybe? Would that do? Also has some plaid, maybe not. Gingham. Buffalo plaid and gingham. I think that's the way they're named. I do struggle from time to time with that. What was on the other side of this one? Flowers? No. Maybe the red is better with the strawberries. Let's take that one. Okay. And a present. I have a few leftovers in here from the other days. Red bow and no, not brown, not brown. That won't do. I'll do the blue. Hey, Donna. Donna's asking if Gummiapan is a new company. No, they're quite old. I think the oldest I have from them is from 17. Let me check that for you. And that's probably not even the oldest thing they've made. This one is, they have a code on their things, and the first 2 digits here is the year it's made. And this one is from 16. So it's quite an old company, but it's Swedish. And since Sweden and Denmark are right next to each other, they naturally expanded into our territory, so to speak. There are some words that we share also, so a lot of the dice can be used. Word dice and things can be used over here as well. Though there is the slight problem. Their expression for congratulations actually means for free in Danish. That's kind of funny. It's not spelled exactly the same, but when you say it, people get confused. But yeah, the company is quite old, and I don't know if this is their 3rd or 4th year, or maybe even more. I watched for 2 years, and then I decided to buy one myself. So I can be sure there's at least 2 more calendars. And this year they actually made 2 calendars. Oh, Australia. I'm uncertain whether or not they have any suppliers all the way over there. Australia. That means you're up really early or haven't gone to bed at all, right? Because it's like 11 o'clock in the evening in Europe. Well, but they, yeah, I've been opening these all through December and crafting with them. And every day is a surprise. So, and yeah, the calendar only contains dies, which I like. It's not that I don't like getting stencils and things, but with this brand, it's nice that, you know, when you buy this calendar, you'll be able to use the product. I do understand that they have had some they do make stamps and stencils, but they have had problems with their manufacture of stamps lately, and they finally found a new one. So they'll get back into releasing new stamps. So they come out with somewhere between 50 and 100 dies every month, except for December. I think they skipped that one, which I get is fair. Oh, 8:30-ish in Melbourne. So that's the far side, if I remember my geography, and I should. So there's a present to go with my funny little cake. Yeah. But yeah, I actually don't know if they have I'll have to check that. It would be nice to, I know they have one in America, and the Swedish company, of course, delivers all over Europe. But I don't know about out to what is east to me. Let's see. These, and I need the plate. It should be dry enough to touch now without leaving fingerprints. Yeah, it's dry. The paint marker I use is oil-based, and it takes a while to dry. So, but it does make very shiny paper. Let's see, get the cake on here. Whee. Oh, so you are enjoying the summer in Australia. That must be nice. Not that we are having much of a winter here. I think we have had 2 days so far where the temperature has gone below freezing point. So they are talking about snow before New Year's. And that's just typical, you know, because people want to go outside with fireworks and stuff. But then it's going to be snowy and the ground is going to be frozen. And people will try to send off rockets with bottles and they'll flip over and, yeah, things will catch fire. It's always a mess. But everyone wants snow for Christmas, but we didn't get any. We haven't had for years. I can't remember the last time we had snow for Christmas. So this should be, without creating a craft avalanche here. My panels have been at, oh, let's just throw this off. I needed 13 and 3, 1, 3 millimeters high, and I can't of course do the 9 centimeters wide, which I usually do, but I think it'll be okay. It'll still have the same top and bottom margin as the other cards, so they look like they fit together. Oh, you say degrees. Are we talking Celsius or Fahrenheit? I can't remember which team you're on in Australia. Since you're a British colony, you can go both ways. We're a colony. That's funny how the world is like that. And Britain themselves, they fluctuate between everything with metric and inches, and oh yeah, it's always fun. I watch a lot of YouTube from the north of America, and it's nice to watch Canadians sometimes because they actually do tell you both, whereas Americans only know Fahrenheit. So hot and sunny, not too hot. That's the thing. Found out I was in Egypt this summer, or late summer, on my honeymoon, and it was, well, in numbers it was hot. It was like between 30 and 40 degrees Celsius, but it was really dry heat, which meant it was actually not uncomfortable. We've been to Croatia, for instance, where the heat, even when it didn't hit more than 76 or 7, it was just suffocating because of the humidity in the air. We also got some very nice thunderstorms, which I love, but the heat was really, really different in Egypt. It was so interesting to get to go there and try that out. Let's see, we need some foam tape, I think. One layer or double? I keep my scraps. A lot of scraps. This is a double. I just have to cut off this side. That was close to a Kraft lens, that's for sure. I think 2 things fell on the floor. That was lucky. Okay, putting something on. The cake is in the background, so the gift will need more foam tape than the cake. Alright. But very nice. Oh, let's see. Let's do it this way. Let's do a strip down the middle as well, just in case something happens. Alright. And then this one needs 3 layers. Let's just make one of those. I don't use more than double very often, so I don't have that many scraps. As such. Okay. And then I always, when I fold over my foam tape, I always cut off the rounded end. It, in my opinion, can give you some troubles on your card. Let's see how much we need for this one. such, and then it can actually overlap a little bit with the cake. I may need an extra piece. Because of the layers on the cake, the present is actually not getting out far enough. Let's see, I think this piece will fit. I broke a nail. Dumb thing. I'll have to fix that later, otherwise I'll just hang on to everything. Just, maybe take off a tiny bit in the corner. That will be with a knife. What's this side here? Okay. Go. Okay, now they can get a bit closer. That's better. Putting on the cake. There. Good, I made a decision. Which rarely comes easy. Oh, these study things. Okay. And it's not too crooked, at least. I think it needs something, though. Oh, what am I stepping on? Ooh, tape. Just a second. There, that's better. Let's just put the tape over here for a sec. Because of the present being so high. I hope you can see it. I don't think I can pop this up even more, but I do think it needs something. Should we do maybe a square of this with some pattern on it? Got so much red. That would be better. And I didn't even shade the package, the gift. Do a quick one. And this is the warm gray from earlier. I could have used a cool one, but this is on hand. Just a tiny bit of blending. Not that this cardstock is ideal for alcohol markers, just so it matches the cake. Still need to find a piece to put here. That'll be weird. Yeah, that's too dark. I don't have any other colors. Then I have black and Kraft, which I've been using, and white, of course. Do have these. Could use. seems kind of boring. And black. Let's just look the paper pad over one last time. Those are too small. So this one, Donna likes the light blue. So I'm over here. That's a good input. It's always hard to decide, I think. That's just, no, I don't think it goes. The plaid. In Denmark, it's called a Scottish checker, actually. I like that. It's one of my favorite patterns, actually. And the more blue, the better. And that's also, ooh, too dark. Cake is running away. Definitely the wrong one. Just a skinny strip of that. This would be too much Christmas, I think. Too much Christmas. Even more Christmas. Buffalo plaid. Running out of scraps here. Oh, there's a blue one we could put with brown. Let's try that. But it's pretty close with this one. Maybe shift them so the present is not on the blue part and it falls in with the color kind of. That was the flowers. Buffalo plaid, snowflakes. Yeah, the rest are just tiny scraps. But I keep these because Gummiapan dyes are really useful. Like, look at the size of this present. I could make quite a lot of those from these tiny pieces. That one doesn't go in the pile. Put this back here. I think we're moving away from the dark blue then. Yeah. Make a little room here. The funny thing is, I've had a crafting table that was like 1/5 of this, and it was just as cluttered. It seems every time I go up in size, it just, the clutter comes from somewhere. So I think like this maybe. That way. That seemed better. And for those who haven't been following the series, thank you, Donna. Donna thinks this is good. I won't be putting a sentiment on this because I like to customize my cards for the recipient. That means if this doesn't have a sentiment, I can put one on that fits with whoever gets it, their name or the number they're turning or something else they like. So I think this would be, just need to trim this up because it has a bit of a raw edge. Let's see how little I can take off. Turn it over here. There. There. All right. Yeah, we're with Donna also has troubles with space on her desk. It seems we're hoping to move house, and I don't know if I want a bigger table because I think things are just gonna be more, take up more space. I don't get it. But then again, I don't often throw out crafting supplies, so they have not exactly become less over the years. I've been paper crafting for 9 years, I think, doing YouTube for 7 or something. So I have a lot of supplies, but not compared to some of the professionals I see on YouTube. Nothing like that. But then again, many of those get things sent to them for free, and I'm guessing that helps a little, or maybe a lot, to build up a great big stash. Okay, so putting these here with glue, because like I said earlier, the present is getting a bit high. So, just want it straight with the red piece. Is that straight? That looks straight to me. And glue here. Let's put this, and I have an extra, and this on top. Okay. Now it's just the cleanup. Which would be easier if I could remember where everything went. These need to go back where they came from. This can go away. I'm loving these little trays. And I got my Kraft lunch back in the drawer. Put that away. Oh, I forgot something. And I have all the supplies, so I can write them up in the description afterwards. So I guess this was day 27 of card making. And I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, I hope everyone will be having a good day, evening, or night. På gensyn.